Hi there! Thank you for joining us and celebrating Math 2.0 Day, which has been brought to you by Lumio. My name is Asha Nelson, and I'm joined by my colleague Stephen Wagner. Go ahead, say what's up.
Hey guys, I'm Steven. What's up?
And we are your hosts today. So, first and foremost, I would love to shout out all of the math teachers. As a student, I had a hard time with math, but thankfully I had some awesome teachers that took the time during lunch and their free periods to help me out. If only I had Lumio, I would have found learning math to be fun and engaging. Maybe my teachers would have actually had time to eat their lunch undisturbed. Lumio helps teachers optimize lesson delivery and student engagement anywhere, anytime. If you register today, we will share classroom resources with you. And if you haven't tried Lumio yet, you can get started for free. Both links will be found in the comments, so be sure to check it out. Why Lumio? In today's session, Stephen and I will share with you why Lumio should be a standard in all classrooms and how easy it is to use with a live demonstration today. Lumio was built to support a flexible learning environment, ignite learning with collaborative workspaces where students can pair up and work together or as a whole classroom, have a little bit of fun. With some game based activities, teachers, you can start with content that is familiar to you, such as PowerPoint, PDF, Google Slides, and combine them into a single lesson. So, how does Lumio work? In just a moment, you will get to see how Lumio works. You can find ready made lesson content, saving yourself time by bringing various resources together. Deliver your lessons to student devices and engage them anywhere, anytime. Now let's jump into the demo. Not all math puns are awful, just some. Okay. Stephen, over to you.
All right, thanks, Asha. So before we jump into the live demo, I want to show everyone where you can explore our resource library. So at the top of the screen here, you see I've got my library and we've got our Lumio library. So here you can find tons of great math content as well as any other subject that you might need. Um, you can search by keywords, grades, and subjects. And make sure you check out the featured lessons. That's actually where you can find the lesson that we're going through here today. It's called Identifying Fractions of a Whole, but it's made for grades 2 to 3. So, as an example, I want to add a piece of interactive activity that you can see using with some of your older students. So, I'm going to come back to my library, go into the lesson that we're using today and start. Well, actually, first we'll edit. I'm going to come and press this big blue plus button at the bottom. And now I want to add a Desmos graphing calculator interactive. But, I'm kind of busy. And instead of starting from a fresh Desmos page, I want to search a ready-made activity. So I'm going to come here, search for Desmos. I know I want to add this one, lines 2-point form. And I'm going to save this to the lesson that we're going through today. Super easy, just like this. But, I noticed I don't really need this title page. So I'm going to come in super easy, delete the page. And, this is a little bit more advanced and we want to build up to it. So I'm going to move it to the end of our lesson. And it's super simple like that. So I think we're ready to get started. So if you're all able to, once I start us off here, if you're able to go to hellosmart.com and enter the class ID 988370, you can join as a guest and you'll be able to get some hands-on experience in this lesson with some of our math activities. Now we've got that popped into the chat for anyone that hasn't joined in already. I'll give it just another minute. I see some are starting to trickle in here. Today, we're going to keep this on teacher pace, but we do have the option to switch to student pace. I see we got Rupert in already. Hopefully, we'll have a couple more trickle on in. So we're gonna start this super simple. First off, a shout it out. So I know for myself, when I think of fractions, I always think of pizza. So I want to hear from you guys. What are your favorite foods that you think of when you're uh, talking about fractions?
Yeah, for me, it's definitely pizza. I mean, that's my favorite food. Fractions, not so much, but pizza, oh yeah.
Oh, got started here for you guys. All right, we got Mackenzie, Marie, Rupert. What are you guys' favorite foods? Well, sounds like some people have already ate lunch, but yeah, as you can add your responses here and love to know what you guys like, but we'll keep it moving along to our next activity. We're going to talk about fractions. What is a fraction? This is our first individual handout. So what I want you guys to do on this individual handout is simply circle the fractions which which represent equal parts. And you'll be able to do that on the left-hand side with your toolbar. And there you can use our pen and you can circle it. But you'll also see options to add images, add shapes, add lines, even links. So depending on the activity, there's a lot of flexibility. As well, we have our teacher handout here at the bottom. So if I want, I can come in, I can model what I'd like you guys to do, or we could review answers. I can see Ginny is finished. We can see what she's written. She circled it. Nice job. Come in, give her some feedback. Good job, Ginny. Now, moving on to our next activity, we have our PhET simulations. And we have some instructions here. I'm going to move on, but it's super simple. You're going to click the game section and start at level 1. And I'm going to show you exactly what to do on my screen. It's loading up. So I'm going to go into the game, start at level 1. And it's super simple. All we're going to do is bring these shapes into the box and match it to our fraction on the right hand side. And we can use these arrows to help us divide up the shape. Oh, that's not 2. There we go, 1/2. Or excuse me, we don't want half, we want 2/3. Sometimes fractions aren't as easy as they look. Bring that over, do one more. Awesome. Now this is super simple, but PhET allows you to choose activities from a ton of different subjects, things like our trigonometry, algebra, chemical equations, gravity, just to name a few. So it's going to work across different different grades and subjects. Now, lastly, we're going to move in to the Desmos activity that we brought in at the start of the lesson. And the nice thing about this is that we actually get to work on it in the lesson. It doesn't pop you out to a new tab or a new window. You get to stay within the lesson. And so what we've got here, we can easily manipulate our variables to see how they're going to affect the slope of our line. We can manipulate each individually. We can even play it and see how that's going to affect our line and give it a set range of values. And we can also come up to the top left and we can add in our new expression. We can bring in images, put in a whole table, or add notes. And if we do want to put in a new function, we have our keyboard here, which makes it super easy to add in those different variables. Now I'm going to pass it back off to Asha, and she's going to tell us a little bit how you can actually get started for free right now.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Stephen. So, little summary of what we saw today. What we saw today, Lumio by Smart, it makes it possible for students to collaborate and create exceptional learning experiences in and out of the classroom. Features such as game-based activities, the shout it out where you got to decide which food you like when it comes to fractions, um, and also making it super easy for teachers to make learning fun and give a voice to students. I was definitely one of those students that was too shy to raise my hand in the classroom and answer questions, but with a shout it out, I definitely would have felt comfortable to go ahead and shout out my answers. We also saw that students can learn and explore together in a collaborative workspace or in a collaborative workspace or individual handout. We also have partnered with Desmos and FED to support not just our lower math levels, but also those higher math levels to make lessons interactive for students. Teachers can facilitate lesson exploration by setting the pace. And so you saw where Stephen kept it at teacher pace. However, you can always move it to student pace and have the students go through the lesson on their own. So Math 2.0 Day, we have tons of free classroom resources. And so I recommend checking out our link, go.smarttech.com/livestream. You will find resources there and some math activities. So be sure to check it out. And the link is in the comments. If you have not registered yet, be sure to do that, as well as for those of you that have not tried Lumio, don't forget you can get started for free by visiting lum.io.
Thanks, guys.
I, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us in celebrating Math 2.0 Day. We will keep you posted on next month's session supporting literacy and celebrating Book Lovers Day. Thanks, everyone.
See you
See
there.
ya.